Mario 64, a game that no one's ever talked about on YouTube before.
This game actually introduces us to a lot less enemies than the previous games. Still a lot, but a lot less. Let's start with Amp, a circle with shocks around them that toast Mario to a crisp. They always seem to get you at the worst possible moment, so C. New to Mario 64 are the bullies that push you off the stage, most notably appearing in Lethal Lava Land. These enemies were introduced so you'd actually have a reason to master Mario's combat mechanics. I think an A tier is fair here. Shuck ya, these guys suck. Did anyone else not know you could pick them up and throw them as a kid, or was I just dumb?
Not answer that.
They're not particularly noteworthy or memorable, and just annoying, so I'm going with D for these guys. Whoosh, I did not know they had faces when I played this game. These guys are irritating, and literally were only placed in levels to make your life miserable. C tier. Moving to shifting Sandland for a bit, meet Grindel. Grindel? Grindel would make more sense. Basically, they're thwomps with a distinguished stomping pattern. In terms of platforming, especially in 3D, actually a pretty novel mechanic. I'll give them an A for that. Heave-ho! Walk on their step, and they throw you in. We have the Klepto. These predator birds steal your hat, which can be a bit tilting, but I do enjoy the realism this provides to the game. So despite being irritating, I will give a B here. Mad Piano. I mixed on this guy, or a scrap of metal. He did provide trauma to millions of kids by chomping you up in the air, but I mean, he did fulfill the purpose Nintendo sought out to create. So I guess I have to give an A. I don't mind the manta ray too much in this game specifically, but in Mario Galaxy, it led to a few motion control levels that I personally found really aggravating. So I think I gotta break the 11th commandment and give it a C. The money bags are basically coins that you later realize aren't coins. You bump into them and cry, but if you catch up and grab them, you make bank and can retire at the age of 27. A tier. Moving bar, just great, a rock with eyes on it. It shouldn't even be an enemy, but you know, if I didn't put this, someone out there would be like, oh, you forgot the moving bar, the best at D. Next up, we have Mr. Blizzard, a snowman who literally cannot move, but throws snowballs at you nonetheless. It's cute and somewhat unique. B, Mr. Eye. It's a literal eyeball. That's disgusting. Scuttlebug. While the newer iterations of this enemy are sort of boring, I'm giving it an A purely because I really love the marble texture it had in Mario 64. Skeeter. These are certainly water spiders, alright. In Mario Sunshine, they can be used as a platform in Bianco Hills, so I'll give them a B. Spindel. They're basically the same sort of thing as the Grindel, but cylindrical. I'll also give it an A tier. Spindrift. Now this is a fun enemy. They're similar to any other Mario enemy. You jump on them.
Wow, really?
But this time, upon a bounce, Mario gets a floaty jump that goes quite high, with a slow descent. It's a ton of fun. They really had no lasting legacy in the franchise, so I won't put it higher than an A. Sushi. They're sharks. Fun fact, if you eat too much shark, you can get mercury poisoning, so F tier for the false information. Toxbox. Everyone cried because of this enemy at some point as a kid. Like the Spindels and the Grindels, it's a very smart introduction to a 3D game. This time around, you have to slowly inch your way around the enemy and memorize which side of it has the hole you can be safe in. A tier. Unagi. Horrifying. I'm giving it a D tier. Finally, we have the Wamp, another series staple. It's a thwomp, but it evolved to have legs. Charles Darwin is panicking in his grave right now. I'll give them an A. In terms of allies, we do have a few new ones. Let's start this off with Lakitu Pros. This is literally a Lakitu. Why did Nintendo lie? I think it's a cute idea to explain why Mario has a camera. Not needed really, but for the time, it's appreciable nonetheless. A. We also have the Bob-omb Buddies. These guys are basically just pink bombs, but they are more of your friend now. They open cannons. Good luck beating the game without it. B tier. There's Hoot, an owl that drops you into a cage. I don't know if I'm the only one who struggled with this, but I felt like the controls were way too floaty. I'll give it a C. Here we have penguins.
I think everyone has a little bit of guilt for throwing that little baby penguin off of the cliff. And if you don't, you're a sociopath. I just diagnosed you.
I'll give them an A. Snowman. He's kind of generic. I don't know. He doesn't say or do that much, only being featured in one race level. That can be sort of frustrating. I'm giving a C just because it's weird. He doesn't really move his mouth or anything. It doesn't feel like a character as much as an inanimate object that talks to you. Mips the rabbit. He looks like he hates his life. They're annoying to chase in my opinion, like trying to grab butter that fell in the shower. B tier. We have Dory, who I really like because in this game they don't even look like a Mario character. They're a classic though. I gotta go A tier. Time for possibly the biggest enemy in the franchise so far. The big snowman from Snowman's Land. Yes, he does actually talk. I never knew how to get past him as a kid, so am I biased when I say I'm giving a D tier?
Bias in my own video? No, it couldn't be. It couldn't be.
Finally, we have the Yukiki. Easy F tier, they steal a star and run around, and it's actually really hard to catch them sometimes. Well, all we have left are the bosses. There's Big Babam, which on the surface might just seem like a size variant, but he'd later be named King Babam and became a relevant character in the franchise. He even has facial hair now. This fight is the quintessential first boss in a Mario game. I think he's an easy S tier. One of the best bosses in the entire franchise. Wamp King, I will give an A, but he never really had nowhere near the same impact in my opinion. I rock 2 pairs of hands with eyes. Points for creativity, I guess. B tier. Lastly, we have the Chill Bully. I don't actually think there's much of a difference between this and the regular bully, to be honest. I'm giving it a D tier purely for the laziness. This was amended in Super Mario 64 DS, kind of, because it turned it into a unique character named Chief Chili. That mustache. Hey, you see how easy it is to please us, Nintendo? We're not asking for that much. Staying in line with the idea is also the Goomba King, or Goombas as some call it. Technically, he was in the first Paper Mario game, being a very rare reverse situation. I'll give him an A tier, because again, yeah, mustache, duh.